It's sending to Twitter. Uh uh uh. YouTube, are you live? YouTube. YouTube, can you hear me? YouTube, are you live? I think it's good. I think it's good. Here we go. Let me turn this on from here. Oh, it's been so long. Pause. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Push the button. Eyes open. Episode number 234 of the Left Hand Layups podcast. The podcast is back. The microphone right here. Know what I mean? I tried to create some new lighting. The light is too much light. I'm not a studio producer or I'm not none of that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make do with, I mean, how I make do. I know it's been a long time. I know Cat's been waiting for the pod. I've been anxious to do the pod. It's been a lot that's taken place over the last couple months. It's been a couple months for real. And I'm going to explain everything. I'm going to explain why the pod stopped for the little bit of time it did. What's the plans for the future? What's the current situation right now? It's so much stuff to talk about. We miss so much stuff. And I just had to fix. I did mad stuff today. Well, not even today. Just within the last hour trying to prepare for the podcast. I thought it was going to be as easy as 1, 2, 3, but my iMac was moving mad slow. And I did some troubleshooting. And it's running smooth now. Actually, let me see. Look, when I click, it's no delay, it's no lag. I see why people go to school for a lot of this shit, because stuff could fuck up like this. And it's like, what? And you gotta really, know what I mean? But I'm gonna fix the lighting. I'm not even gonna fuck with it right now. I got a lamp, an old lamp from 4th grade. My mom went to IKEA. This how crazy moms is for real. Just moms in general. My mom, everybody's mom for the most part. She bought a desk from IKEA when the internet come out. Like dial-up internet and shit like that. That was like 2nd grade or something. Oh, I don't remember what grade it was when cats got AOL and shit like that. But my mom went to IKEA, bought a desk and a computer for me. Had no internet upstairs. I used to just play solitaire. And then from the speakers, I used to listen to the truck drivers talk on that shit. I might be going back way too far type shit. But if you was there, you was there. You heard. If you turn the volume up, and even if you wasn't playing solitaire or pinball on that joint, the truck driver's frequency get picked up on the joint. I didn't know what the fuck it was, but she built the IKEA desk by herself. IKEA's jobs are never single person jobs. My bet is from IKEA. And that shit took me, the first time with me and my dad, that shit took a couple hours. And it was like, this shit crazy. And the same bed, a couple years later, I built by myself like 2 summers ago. And that shit was crazy. When I moved down here in the shop, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not disassembling that bed. I'm just disassembling that bed. I'm not doing it. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. But before we can get into the episode and we can get into the explanations, we're gonna go and do the normal thing that we always do. We gotta do sponsors. And so let's do that. And then I'm gonna play the intro music like always. And then we're gonna get into this episode. It's gonna be probably a big episode. Pause. I'm just gonna talk. It's mad shit to talk about. I'm gonna explain what happened. Shop MJ, you good? I can move it. I don't feel like fucking with this. This part of the reason why they can see you, Shop MJ. This part of the reason why I wanted to why the podcast was on pause. Because I just wanted the situation to just be different. You'll understand once I do some explaining. But let's just do the sponsors. We'll talk about what happened. We'll talk about LeBron. There's a lot going on about LeBron, the best ever, and all this shit, and the teams that Mike was playing versus the teams LeBron playing, and football. The Super Bowl just passed. I really wanted to get on the podcast after the bowl. It's just a lot in sports going on. The All-Star break, the All-Star game, the New York Knickerbockers, who everybody told me, y'all gonna be ass. Y'all not gonna make the playoffs. Y'all didn't get DeJounte Murray. Y'all didn't get Jaden Ivey. That was mainly myself, those two players. But y'all didn't get Donovan Mitchell. Y'all didn't get no better. Everybody else is so much better than y'all. We're going to talk about that. About the Miami Dolphins. Oh, man. We should have won the Super Bowl this year if we would have had a quarterback. And if we get a quarterback, we're going to win the Super Bowl. But it's a lot to talk about. So sponsors. Let me make sure. It's okay. Now it says streaming for YouTube. I can see myself right here. I can close this now. Bam. This is closed. Okay. Let me go here, and then I go like this right here and go to this website here so we can pull up, some statistics. Okay. Chat, nothing in the chat. Remember, y'all can type in the chat and I can see, what's going on. And then when shit really hits the fan, okay, bam. When shit really hits the fan, that's when, bam, you see that? I could turn that screen on anytime and we can have callers. Y'all know this already. Y'all know that this is what's possible. Hold on, let me pull this up right here. I hope this shit don't start playing. See, iMac is so much slower than my MacBook. This shit will start bugging out and wanting to play games. Like, play the games on the joint. Okay, here we go. So let's get the sponsors. You know when it's time to say the sponsors, I get close like this, pause. The podcast back. I'm just letting niggas know that now. It's back. I'm going to drop an episode today or tomorrow. And then Sunday is the fight. Basketball come back. I hope Jake Paul get his ass whooped. If Tommy Fury lose to Jake Paul, so I don't know. We running out of excuses at this point. This is the first boxer, but I think he's going to lose. But, we're going to drop an episode tomorrow, 12:30, and then Monday, 12:30, just like old times. I'm not fucking around. And even though it's a lot of updates that's about to happen, but here we go. Sponsors. Let's get the sponsors out the way. This podcast is sponsored by Shop Heirlooms, Premier Vintage Goods and Memorabilia. You can follow the shop as well as the podcast on all social media at Shop Heirlooms, ShopHeirlooms. What? ShopHeirlooms. I said 2 L's. It's only 2 L's and 1 T. I don't know why I did that. But it's mad wave at the shop. If you look on the wall, you can't see Shop MJ blocking it. It's a crazy Tiger Woods tee here. It's mad wave here like it always is. And it's about to be some changes in the shop. It's part of what we're going to talk about later in the podcast. The hours of operation. As of now, still 12:30 till 7. Come slide. Enjoy it while this is the hours of operation. It's not going to be like this forever. We're going to change the hours of operation because of the reason why, the podcast was on the back burner for a little bit. Not even on the back burner. I had to do what I had to do. I could have. It's really an excuse. I could have been making a podcast. I could have been doing it. I could have, but I wanted to upgrade shit. So we'll talk about it. But yeah, come slide. I mean, I think by March, or it could be earlier, depending on when my certification come through. It's over. I mean, for the early joints, for at least until the summer, at least. You feel what I'm saying? Because in the summertime, I'm not gonna have work. You don't teach in the summertime. So, and the shop will just be open when I get out of class, which would be around like 3 something, maybe when I get home from school. And if you can't make it down, you can always go hit the website, www.shopheirlooms.store. Next day shipping, unless you order on Saturday. Post office closed on Sunday, so you gotta wait till Monday. You heard, and that's it. If you ever want the podcast to be a sponsor for whatever you got going on, hit me. In the DMs, in the chat, and whatever, and we can work that out. You could become official sponsor. We can crunch the numbers, and you will be a part of part of the whole shit. You'll be an official sponsor. But that's it. Let's play the intro music. I'm ready to talk. It's a lot to talk about, so I'm ready to talk. Let's look at the. I gotta update some of these pictures. Look at Molly going to work. Samuel Dallenberg. Y'all wasn't there when we had Curry, Zach Randolph, and Jamal Crawford, and David Lee, and Channing Frye, Sam Madison, Surtain. Y'all see PS2. His son is in the league. Patrick Surtain is second, but you feel what I'm saying? Intro music right here. Let me pause myself. Intro music right here.
I used to roll me a big fine L and watch a whole lot of basketball in Soundcloud. Aside from my fish scale clientele, there are a few things I know as well as basketball in Soundcloud. 40 carats, phrases, 40 parrots. Mimic the style, you get embarrassed. Ditch the filthy habits. In a limousine, every limousine covered in supply fabrics. Still wreaking havoc for them cash that will rob you for your pack. Back when Robert Pack was a maverick who had chicks to give wavy wop. It's not trading cards when I see your shorty gave me tops. Teeth look like chiclets, big and white like Rick Smith's. I'm at my Travis best. The rest is average at best, and this that land bias in its purest form. Word is Bon Jovi, word is Sean. If you don't recognize it, you'll respond. Catch a bigger bullet than George Marathon. Ric Flair with the chops. And they thought he's gonna flop. Finally back on the top. I already made it to the finals playing with Sagana Job.
Still serves you that Will Perdue. I almost forgot where to stop the joint at. Hold on. Bam. Okay, so we back. Shout out to Drew. Drew showed love way back when. I forgot what episode that was, when he said, he gave me the green. He said, yeah, that could be it always was the official intro song of the podcast. And he gave me the green and the drop and all that. So shout out Drew, you heard. Okay, let's get into, what's been going on. So, episode 234. Who got number 34? Shaq. This should be Shaquille O'Neal episode, but I clearly gotta do a picture of somebody else coming out of retirement or some shit like that. Not that Magic Johnson coming back for the All-Star weekend would have been relevant. If this was last weekend, it's gonna have to be Jordan coming back or something like that. Yeah, with the announcement, I'm back. I know I can find a picture somewhere. But okay, Shop MJ. All right, I thought you had something to say on the matter, but you clearly didn't. I know all right, regardless. Y'all got to hear what he be saying. But okay, so it's been a long time. I think June was the last time I uploaded an episode, and it was a long time before that as well. Not June, September. I think around like September. Let me look. I want to be accurate with this. I think it definitely was around, okay, here's the OJ Mayo. the draft. So it was June. It was June. That was the last episode. And then before that, it was okay. We was consistent in June, but that's when it stopped. The draft episode was the last one. Now, I really, really, really. Oh, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about before that, because it stopped before that, like last semester with school. I finally finished with school. Graduation's not till May. But if you've been listening to the podcast for any amount of time, I mean, you know that I was in school. If you follow the shop Heirlooms on social media, then you know I was in school to be a teacher. And that shit was crazy, first and foremost. So, I mean, I definitely want to give a shout out to myself for finishing school. I was done with school. Once I had my associates and it was clipped for me playing basketball and stuff like that, I was done. I graduated and I was from Essex and I was like, I'm good. There's no need for me to go to school, to go to school any further. I'm just going to run the shop and that's going to be it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was set on that. Like, I had already started working. I had 2 jobs while I was going to school, taking 1 class at a time. You feel me? I had adapted and adjusted to the life I was in. I always had school, I always had work, and I always had whatever I chose to do on the side. So I was done, and I started the shop. I started the podcast, and I was locked in. But then, you know, I went back to school because my mom used to pester me like, yo, why don't you go back and I'm like, for what? But, you know, one day I said, yo, they give you refund checks in school. I can use them shits to help me, with the shop. You feel what I'm saying? So I said, fuck it, I'll go back. And I knew my mom really, really wanted me to finish. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I went back to school, to King University, the worst school in the world. At least if you're going to be an education major, more specifically a phys ed major, don't go to King, don't send your kids there. Racist. You go through a lot of bullshit. We'll talk about that one episode, probably the graduation, on my graduation or when I get back from there, because I'm sure it's going to get ugly. I'm sure the teachers some people in the building going to come and try to take a flick, and my mom I already know how it's going to go. I can see it. But it was horrible. And it was cool though. Still was 1 class at a time, couple classes at a time. And I was able to do everything, the podcast nonstop, the shop nonstop. Then eventually, and I stopped going to work in 2019. So that freed up, I had way more time. And that's when I was trying to do an episode every day of the pod. I would have done a live show every day. But I couldn't get people to come on. I used to always try to have a guest, so it wouldn't just be me flapping my gums. And I was having difficulties with all that kind of stuff. So I said, fuck it. We're not even going to go that route no more. You feel what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, now I'm in school. And everything is fine up until January. When shit really hits the fan, when you're being an education major, you got to take the praxis, which was easy. I passed that shit first try. The intro and praxis 1 and praxis 2, but then you got to do student teaching. It's like an internship. I'm sure in every major you got to do some sort of internship or something before you graduate. So I had to do student teaching last semester, not this past semester that just passed in December, like in the spring semester. So with the student teaching, it came lots of lesson plans. It came classes preparing us for EdTPA. It was crazy. Like, I became flogged, or like drowned with work. I had so much shit to do, and it was like, yo, I got no time, or like, I can't do this. I had to open up the shop late. It was a lot of shit going on, and then made things worse. To start the year off last year, I had pregnancy scare. I could say it now on the pod. It's whatever. No, I mean, it's the past. That was some shit. Like, that was with some chick I barely even knew, and that was crazy. So it was a lot of shit going on. Tried to bring the podcast back once that got sorted out and everything was Gucci, and then when the semester was over, and we was cool. It was cool, but what I really had my mind set on doing, since I had taken so much time off the pod, was I wanted to have, like, I had like some grandiose idea. Like, this shit was crazy. Like, I wanted somebody to record. You know what I mean? I was going to change probably the late, because the atmosphere is already here, but I wanted to have like a real like show. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that was like, I was set on that, and I didn't want to go back to doing it like this. Even though now I don't mind really doing it like this, but I wanted to look more professional, so I could take clips. You know what I mean? And like, I know how to play this game. I'm good with the promotion and all that shit. I was gonna cut everything up and have it be on social media. Like I knew how I could still do it though. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. I said, yo, I could still do it. So, but I wanted to have it have a certain look. You feel me? A certain je ne sais quoi. But wasn't able to get that done. Then the semester started again with school. And this time I had the Ed TPA to focus on. Excuse me, I burp. I had the Ed TPA to focus on, and I had student teaching. Ed TPA is the scariest shit in the world. If anybody you know is going to school or went to school to be a teacher and they had to do the Ed TPA, they'll tell you that shit is crazy. And if you know somebody, I mean, show love to them and wish them, send nothing but good, positive energy their way. If they got to do that shit, is ass. And I passed that on the first try as well. I wasn't fucking around with these people, but I had to make sacrifices. Shit like couldn't do the shop. I couldn't have a podcast. I had to really lock in, and I had to make sure that everything was good and gravy. Now, the student teaching part, that was easy. I always work with kids, which I'm going to continue to do now. I'm going to be a teacher. I worked with kids for 11 years of my life. For the majority of my adult life, I've worked with kids. It's not hard. It's easy. You feel what I'm saying? But it was the Ed TPA. I was at a school when I was doing the elementary part of my student teaching where we was getting 60 plus kids. I'm a phys ed major. I was in the gym in physical education class, and we had 60, 70 kids in our classes. And my co-op, which is supposed to be the guy that I'm under learning from in student teaching, he was gone. He had to take care of his mom. So me and the other teacher that was there, they didn't send us subs. They just sent me his students. I was just doing his work. And it was cool. It was a great learning experience. It wasn't difficult for me. And Mr. Yuri, that was the other guy I was with. He had, like, I learned everything from him. It was good money. I just used, what I'm good at, and I just did it. But it was amazing. But when you're doing the Ed TPA, you got to have a demo lesson for task 2 and for task 3. And we got 60 plus kids in every class. How can I have a normal team sports activity? My lesson was on soccer that I was using for the video footage. And the Ed TPA is 3 parts. It's planning, instruction, and assessment. So you plan your lesson in the first part, and the last thing you got to do is I don't even remember what shit is called no more. I got that shit erased out of my brain. You got to do like I forgot what it's called, but you got to do it at the end of each one. I forgot what they're called. It starts with a C. Task 1, task 2, task 3, context for learning, or critical. What the fuck is it called? I forgot what it's called, but you got to do one at the end of each one. And you know what? I gotta look that shit up. I gotta look it up just because. Ed TPA. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Docs. Where's my Ed TPA? instruction comment. You got to do a commentary. There you go. You got to do a commentary. I knew it started with a C. So I had to do commentaries, and you got to do commentaries on it. And it's mad questions, like 9 pages long each. This shit is crazy. Extra specific. You can't do this. You can't do that. And if you fail, that's your ass. You can't graduate. That's what they told us. So, in the instruction and the assessment parts, you got to have a video, and you got to highlight how you did it, how you assessed the students, and how you did the instruction. So it was all fucked up what I had to do with that. Like, it was all wrong, and I had to go through mad hoops because my school did not give a fuck. You know what I mean? They didn't want me to finish. I'm the only black phys ed major. Why we want? I'm gonna when graduation come, they're gonna be like, yo, what the fuck? I'm the only black person there. We had another black person, but he dipped from phys ed, so that shit was crazy. But thanks to my mom, you feel me? She raised the roof on them niggas, and you know what I mean, shit got handled how it needed to, and I was able to get I had like 4 kids. The minimum is 4, so I barely had, you know what I mean, what was necessary to start. You're supposed to have 15. I had 4 kids, did my lesson, whatever the case may be. But imagine with all this chaos, the last thing I could think about or focus on is the podcast. I could have done it when I got back from student teaching, but all I could think about was EdTPA. And by the time that was over and I finished, that was the end of school. And it was a lot of bullshit that I had to deal with. You feel what I'm saying? So I couldn't do the podcast. Along with me wanting to upgrade the podcast and have that shit be super special and souped up all crazy, which is something that I'm still working towards. Trust me. I am gonna have the podcast be like, it's gonna be like a studio recorded show. I'm telling you. And now I'm about to start teaching soon. I'm waiting for my teaching certification to come through. That's the only thing that's in the way right now. I already went on interviews. I got offers already. I gotta decide where I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna start next month. My certification should be through by next month. It's been taking mad months. I filled out the application in December. But again, my school, King University, was supposed to nominate me so I can get it done quickly. My advisor did not send me that way. She did not tell me King has a teacher certification department. Like, I paid the bread. I did all that shit myself. Not to make no excuses. It is what it is. But I'm just saying, like, it's bullshit you got to go through. And so I've been waiting for mad long. But as soon as it's through, then I'm good. I'm going to start. And then I'm going to have way more money than I ever touched ever in my life, which I'm so grateful for. And it's going to be a blessing because, I mean, I took one class at a time so I can be where I'm at and did everything I was doing so I can, had the opportunity to make some real bread and use that to change some shit in my life, you feel me? Which is I'm definitely gonna do. I'm gonna invest in myself like I always did. You feel me? The shop is gonna be leveled up even more. I'm gonna be saving every penny I can so I can buy a storefront. This is the current storefront, but I'm talking about we're gonna be somebody's downtown area. I'm gonna own the property that my business is in for sure. Like, I know this is gonna happen. It's already in the works. You feel what I'm saying? Because that's just what the universe got in store. But and I'm gonna work towards it. And we definitely gonna have, even if I gotta buy a camera myself and just set this shit up like a tripod or whatever, I'm gonna do that, and we're gonna have the podcast. It's gonna watch. Just don't worry. And y'all, and this is why I'm gonna keep making it. I can't stop doing this. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta keep up. I got to episode 234 by just sheer will and determination. That's 235 episodes. That's crazy. I probably would have been on like 300 something if I didn't stop. Although I had to, you feel what I'm saying? But I'm just thinking ahead type shit. So there's no way I can stop. I got to keep building up this shit, and I need y'all. If everybody was to always rate and review on the iTunes podcast app, go to the YouTube. It's YouTube. Shop Heirlooms on YouTube. And y'all see on Twitter when I be live with the podcast. All you got to do is follow, retweet, interact with the podcast, get this shit leveled up. I'll deadass will do an episode every day. if it was on that type time, I would do an episode every day. I'm not even kidding. I'm dead ass. See, look, there's nobody in the chat and shit like that. We need this shit to be jumping. Cause then we could go, certain ways with this shit. But yeah, that's what's been going on. That's why it took so long for me to make another episode. I know it's 12 o'clock. I'm gonna be talking. It is what it is. I miss doing this. And sometimes I used to have to drag myself. Oh boy, I gotta do the podcast. But it is what it is. That's the type of person I am. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. And the podcast ain't going nowhere. It's back. Every Monday, 12:30, new episode. Okay. Let's talk about the New York Knicks. Before we talk about anything else, let's look at the standings. Bam. I got everything up there. It's up there. As you can see, the New York Knicks right now at 33-27 at the All-Star break. So this is the halfway point, right? We do better on the road than at home. Y'all can see me, right? The New York Knicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. We are going to surpass the Brooklyn Nets. Even though everything went left with them. Everybody was, the Knicks didn't get KD, didn't get Kyrie. I'm happy them two got away from the Nets because the Nets fans were insufferable and assholes and all that type shit. The Nets are gone. They're done. We're going to surpass them. We might even be able to catch Cleveland. I think we might. But for sure, we should finish no less than 5th or 6th. We shouldn't be worried about no play-in tournament. Everybody me and Ray, I remember me and Ray was in the gym. I'm like, we were 4th the playoff year when we lost to the Hawks. Why the fuck can't we be 4th now? And he's like, no, y'all are ass. Miami's gonna be better than y'all. Atlanta's gonna be way better than y'all. They just fired Nate McMillan. They got DeJounte Murray. The Raptors are trash. They're 28-31. I don't know why. I guess because OG Anunoby is hurt. I don't know. Chicago Bulls 26-33. Trash. With DeRozan, Levine, Vucevic. They're supposed to be so much better than us. The Indiana Pacers. Trash. They're not even in the playoffs right now. What we talking about? Tyler Halliburton shouldn't have been an all-star over Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry. Look at where we at. We 6th. And Mitchell Robinson getting ready to come back. It's getting ready to be crazy. Now, I'm going to break down the Knicks right now. Let's click the Knicks. I'm going to break down what's been going on with us from where I'm standing. You feel me? This is what I think at the All-Star break. I'm going to start. Everybody can see everything. It's good, right? I'm going to start by talking about Jalen Brunson. Now, all praises due. That's first thing is first. That's what I got to say. All praises due. Jalen Brunson averaging 23, 6 assists. I'm surprised it's at 23 because he been averaging like 30 since he got snubbed or like even in the month of February. This nigga is crazy, son. Something is wrong with Jalen Brunson. He's nice. I was so upset. And let me go so I can see the camera. The stats are there, but I'm gonna pull this up. I was so upset. Draft day. I thought we were gonna make the trades. We were gonna get Jaden Ivey. It didn't happen. We traded out of the first round. It's some players now, like Jalen Williams, who I wanted to draft. Jaden Ivey, of course, but whatever. Malik Branham from the Spurs, I wanted to draft. Those just 2 players right there in itself. I might be saying his last name wrong. I don't remember what it is. I'm not looking at it. But I was pissed. I said, no, this can't be because we want Jalen Brunson. It can't be. It's no way. Why are we not drafting and trading everything to get Jaden Ivey? Then before that, I think before that or after that was DeJounte Murray. Oh, we got to get DeJounte Murray. He wants to leave. We got to do it. Trade the first, whatever the case may be. Didn't happen. I'm like, why? Because we want Jalen Brunson? Why? I was pissed. You know, the Donovan Mitchell shit didn't happen. I was having headaches all summer, looking at my phone every 5 seconds. Excuse me, going into these people's corny ass lives on Twitter. I haven't joined one of them lives since the Knicks ones. This shit was, it was insane. Everybody in there talking like they knew what the fuck they was talking about. We did not get Donovan Mitchell. I was at my wit's end. I did not want Jalen Brunson. I'll be the first to admit I did not want Jalen Brunson. Since the first preseason game that I went to go see, I think I went to every home preseason game. I love going to preseason game. Them tickets cheap, so I'm in there. You heard. I was wrong. Jalen Brunson, all praises due. Nigga should have been an all-star this year. No way he shouldn't have been an all-star. He is crazy. He get 30 or 40 every night damn near. The only person I seen cook him or give him trouble is Fred VanVleet. Other than that, Jalen Brunson, amazing. We saw him next to Luka. The front office had this one right. Why mortgage everything if we knew? Of course, we know it was a what's it called? What's it called when you get somebody? What's the cheating way to do it? It was we hired his dad. It was what's it called? What's the word? I don't know why I can't think of the word. It was, and somebody in the chat tell me, no good, of course not. Tampering. It was definitely tampering. We tampered. Of course we did. We knew Jalen Brunson was coming. Pause. We knew he was going to be a New York Knick. So if you know that you got Jalen Brunson on the way, I can see why we don't trade everything to get Ivy or don't trade everything to get DeJounte Murray. Jalen Brunson is better than Jaden Ivey and DeJounte Murray. I'm sorry, he is. It's no debating that. He really is. It's insane how good Jalen Brunson is. So I understand now, and we got to give the front office credit. We should have played Cam Reddish. That was good to trade for him. But getting Josh Hart is even something crazier. Josh Hart is insane. He been wilding right now. But we had to do what we had to do. So Jalen Brunson, you good with me. Next, let's talk about Julius Randle. No, let's talk about R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett is averaging 19, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, right? His scoring average is went up, but lately he's been stinking this shit up. What do I have to say about R.J. Barrett? I think that I tried to be supportive of him. He's only 22, he's young, and usually he goes crazy in the second half of the year. I thought he was going to do that all season. He hasn't. He's gonna have to pick it up. You feel what I'm saying? I thought that he was developing nicely. He had like a 40 clip. He was like, I just don't know when it comes to RJ Barrett. I really don't. Tibbs benched him at the end of the game a couple games ago. He didn't speak to the people. Look, if we can trade and get somebody like Bradley Beal or some shit like that, we got to trade RJ Barrett. Right now, RJ Barrett is expendable. I'm sorry. I don't even start him no more in fantasy. Now, of course, he's going to pick it up. He's young. He's only 22. He's going to pick it up. He's going to be better. Especially, I can't wait till the playoffs come around. I feel like he's going ill in the playoffs. If he don't, oh well. At this point, I would trade him. And that's not saying I don't like him, but I feel like RJ Barrett, where he's at now, it's not in alignment with what we are. You feel what I'm saying? So, something got to give. I don't know. What we going to do, I don't know. Then you got Emmanuel Quickly. Let's talk about Quick. Quick come off the bench. When he start, he ills. I got no problem with Quickly. I feel like he's going to want a bigger role soon. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. But he's definitely better than this nigga Quentin Grimes. If Quentin Grimes is what held us up from getting Donovan Mitchell, shame on fucking us. He play fence. He starts almost every game. He plays good defense. I'll give him that. He play fence. He misses. He's supposed to be a shooter. Every fourth quarter, I see him missing big shots. I don't like Quentin Grimes. I don't see what everybody else in the Knicks front office must see. How is this guy untouchable? I have no idea. I'd rather have had Cam Reddish playing than him, but they saying Cam ain't playing no offense. I don't know what the case was with that, but we got rid of him. We got Josh Hart, who has been a perfect fit since he's been a Knick. Pause. Averaging 17. He had like 30-something last game. He tough. I like Josh Hart. That's a good pickup. And you know him and Brunson got the connection. Julius Randle, though. Obi Toppin. Let's talk about Obi. Obi showed us at the end of the season last year what he could be. But it never took place. And it probably never will because of Julius Randle. If another team want RJ Barrett and Obi Toppin, if that's what it take to get Zach LaVine, Bradley Beal, I would trade them in a heartbeat. I really would, because Obi is wasting his career on us. He's nothing. He just come off the bench, but he was illing at the end of the season last year when Julius didn't play. That means he could. I feel like he could be with the right point guard. If LaMelo Ball had Obi Toppin on his team, he would be what Miles Bridges was last year, probably. But it is what it is. Julius Randle, 24, 10, and 4, about to be 11. Basically going to be 11 probably by the end of this joint. Let's put the camera just on me. Son, we all gave up on Julius after he had the rough playoffs. Then last season he was arguing with the refs, getting thrown out of games. He was bugging. He wasn't illing like he did the season before. Now he might be better than he was on that breakout year, especially these past couple weeks and months. Julius Randle crazy, son. We can't trade Julius. All praises due. I came on here on the pod and said, yo, when the breakout Julius Randle, I say, yo, he's stamped. He's our guy. We got to rock with him. My bad for saying trade you. You the best player we got. And that held true for that whole entire season. Julius Randle is crazy, son. All NBA kind of guy. And I'm glad to have him on the Knicks. I was saying trade Julius Randle so we could play Obi Toppin. Forget about it. Can't do it. Can't do it. You just can't. I'm sorry. But right now, at the mid-season, I feel like we are where we should be. And we could arguably be better because we lost a lot of bullshit games. Luka had like 60 points on us. He did some shit off the backboard, which was crazy. We lost a couple bullshit games that we should have won at the end of the game. We could easily be in the fourth spot right now, or at least fifth. Easily. But all the people that, all praises due. Eyes open. Keep your eyes open, you heard. Shit is, Now, I want to talk about on Twitter lately, since LeBron, who I watched since he was in high school, since they started showing him on ESPN. I was in like 8th or 9th grade, one of them joints. And I'm not a LeBron hater. I used to be one of the people that used to be like, yo, LeBron is better than Kobe. What are we talking about here? He could do way more. I got locked up one time at a hotel party because all the bitches left. And it was just us dudes in there. And we arguing about who better, LeBron or Kobe. I was too loud. Police came. I had a warrant. All sorts of shit. Whatever the case may be. This is, I always fucked with LeBron. LeBron not better than Shop MJ. He not better than Michael Jordan, son. I saw a video where, like, Gilbert Arenas, that's my favorite basketball player ever. When Gilbert was out, I said, yo, this is it. Who's better than him? I still don't feel like Steph Curry is better than Gilbert Arenas. A lot of people not better than Gilbert Arenas, but that's just my opinion. I feel like, okay, so Gilbert Arenas said, he's not going to be a Michael Jordan dinosaur. LeBron top in scoring, all-time leading scorer, something we said never was going to be done. Maybe we got to start looking and say, you know what, maybe LeBron is the best ever. No, I feel like you're not Michael Jordan dinosaur for saying that. I feel like he's just not better than Michael Jordan. Now, what am I basing this argument off of? Because looking back now, LeBron is the all-time leading scorer. He's going to be top 5 in assists. Am I putting it on championships? Am I putting it on longevity? What am I putting it on? I still feel, in my opinion, that Michael Jordan or Wilt Chamberlain, when we talk about best ever, when we talk about best ever, if we're not counting championships, why is LeBron better than Wilt Chamberlain? Please, somebody explain that to me. By the time Wilt Chamberlain retired, he was the all-time leading scorer, wasn't he? Kareem had to pass Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt was number 1. He averaged 50 and 20. He scored 100. If we taking championships and throwing them shits out, Wilt Chamberlain is the best basketball player ever, in my opinion. Argue me. What? Let's look at the stats. Whose stats was better than his? Nobody's. But how many times when I'm looking at Michael Jordan, I'm looking at the complete resume, you can look at everything. 6-0 in the finals, no game 7. And we'll talk about in a second, people, look who Jordan was playing. The people was asking. I hate when people say shit like that. That's horrible. And it's lazy and it's just wrong. It's not true. But 6-0 in the finals, whatever the case may be. Defensive player of the year, led the league in scoring like 11 times. And it's 30 every time. I feel like if he don't miss those 3 years or whatever when he was suspended for gambling and they had him playing baseball, he could have won some more chips. Maybe he could have lost, though, and then the argument would have been weaker. Who knows? But he definitely probably would have been higher on the all-time scoring list. That's one thing we can't debate because he was giving niggas 30 every year. He could have had a fucking 35-point season type shit like Hard Times did. But nobody want to talk about that. I just feel like Michael Jordan is just... he's just the best, and it is what it is. He ain't disappearing in the finals like Bron did. It's nitpicking when you making this argument now. It's just nitpicking and I don't feel like it's not on preference. It's just you guys got to look at what Mike did, what Bron is doing. Mike wasn't having these seasons catching L's once the ball got rolling. You could talk about some shit when he was young. Oh, he was losing to the Pistons, and when he was averaging like 38 a game and shit like that. We ain't seen, come on, son, stop playing. Because Bron was losing too. He wasn't doing shit like how Mike did. All the MVPs, it's just too much, son. It's too much. The overall resume I'm sorry, it's nobody better than Mike. And we never going to see nobody better than Mike just because of everything that he did. We just not going to do it. And if it is somebody we not counting championships, then we got to look at Wilt Chamberlain. That's just my opinion. You do what you want to do with that. You heard? What else we going to talk about here? All-Star Weekend, trash. Throw that shit away. This All-Star Weekend was horrible. Only thing I like is the rookie versus sophomore game. They fucked that up. They did USA versus the world. Then they do team captains play this. What is this? Play to 25, play to 40. That's trash. Nobody want to see that. Put the rookies versus sophomores back up there. We'll throw the rookies versus sophomores. You got to watch the podcast on YouTube, people, so you can really see what's been. I mean, I could put videos up. We can really watch this shit and look at the old rookie sophomore joints. Kevin Durant had like 48, 49. Westbrook had like 40-something. I remember them rookie sophomore games was crazy, son. Bring those back. All-Star game, trash. Horrible. Greek play and just dunk. They could have had that nigga Jalen Brunson come in if they knew that nigga wasn't going to play. He's hurt. His wrist. That was some bullshit. But the game was trash. Tatum had 55. Nobody was playing fence. All-Star Weekend is trash. Throw the All-Star Weekend out. Put in a mid-season tournament like every other professional league or like soccer. How about that? I can't say every, but like soccer. You got the FA Cup. You got Coppa Italia. You got, you know what I mean? Throw a mid-season tournament in there. Let's have like that would stuff shit like that would be fire. People, this average sports fan now, like the average guy, the people that that follow sports, but they don't, you know what I mean, they're not really in a sports bag like that. They don't know what the fuck is going on. They wouldn't know till it hit them in the face, pause, and then they'll be like, oh, all right, this is fire. I like this. In season, mid-season tournament, and all that type shit. It's been 50 minutes now, basically an hour. I don't know what else we was gonna talk about, but it just feels good for the podcast to be back. Next episode, we definitely gonna have the Fury shit to talk about. Basketball gonna be back. Fantasy, I'm whipping everybody ass. Nobody want to talk about fantasy basketball in the whole chat and the whole league, except for Corb, except for Shad, Mir. Sometimes niggas don't want to talk about it because I be whipping niggas ass. I'm the fucking GOAT with this fantasy shit. I'm trying to go undefeated in Dynasty this season. I'm almost there, and then I'm trying to kick everybody ass in the playoffs and win this championship, and then I'm trying to go 3 times in a row in redraft. I got, shit I'm trying to accomplish. Football, we moved to the Sleeper app. I love the Sleeper app. I'm ready for them to add basketball, how like points, leagues, and categories, so we can move the league and just get off the ESPN app, period. I'm ready for that to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. I love my team in Dynasty, which already won the championship. Injuries, they hurt. Justin Herbert's receivers was out, so he wasn't. I was losing close ass games. Then my running backs, Breece Hall, got hurt. Shit just went left. But we got Justin Jefferson. We got a crazy team. It's gonna be. I'm excited for everything fantasy. We'll talk about that. Let's look at the Jason Burke tweet of the week. But before we look at the Jason Burke tweet of the week, I need y'all to interact with the pod. You know what I mean? Go to the YouTube and to the comments and like it and watch it. Go to the iTunes podcast app. You know what I mean? It takes 5 seconds to, rate, leave a review, get the podcast leveled up, and some shit can happen. You feel me? We can make something shake. I'm telling you. I gotta fix the lighting situation. This lighting is ass. I tried to just put another fucking lamp, but it really, I don't think it worked that well, but it is what it is. If you made it this far, shout out to you for listening. Shout out to me for keeping you entertained. I love doing the podcast. It's always fun, man. It's always fun. Let's look at the Jason Burke tweet of the week. We ain't look at Jay Burke. There you go. The Jason Burke tweet of the week. Hopefully no horny shit pop up because he love. See, look, my boy Jay Burke be looking at crazy shit. Jason Burke tweet of the week. 5 people died in a plane crash in Little Rock, Arkansas, and there were no survivors. Unless people are passengers in a commercial plane by a reputable airline, they should rather be in a car or train. Amen. Sorry, RIP to them people. Here we go. Let's look at some more Jason Burke tweets. Remember that with OnlyFans content, everyone in it must be tagged so that no one will be there without permission. If you want to be anonymous, then you should only be the one doing the picture taking and or video recording. OnlyFans expert Jay Burke right there. You see, he fuck with all this shit. I still cannot get over that the NBA allowed Karl Malone to be a dunk contest judge, considering when he was 20 he impregnated a 13-year-old. To make matters worse, he abandoned the mother and child, and I do not care that the contest was in Utah where he starred for many years. Tell him, Jay Burke. That's my guy right there. Cousin Gary, a.k.a. hashtag Russ Gang. We're going to get him on the pod. It's all going to be... Look at the light change. Why did it do that? That's crazy. Cousin Gary, a.k.a. hashtag Russ Gang. He going to be on the pod. It's all... We back. Trust me, we back. Episode number 234, the Shaquille O'Neal episode, but it's not going to be Shaquille. It's going to be the We Back episode. I love y'all. Everybody that listens to the podcast, I appreciate you. If anybody want to get on the podcast, I could always Zoom people in a Zoom call, or people could call in. We could do all that. You feel what I'm saying? That ain't really about nothing. That's it. We out of here. till next week. Eyes open.